So we're starting in this supported position at home. For those of you who are on the recording, we're doing tall block in the back, medium block in front, and then laying the bolster there. If you don't have a bolster at home, no big deal. You can use a pillow or you can just lay down. So we are focusing today on surrender. So this supported space is a nice option for really paying attention to that and allowing taking a few deep breaths here. And take a moment to notice your physical body. Let your shoulders relax. Feel your back melting into the prop. Feel the lower half of your body sinking into the floor. Relax your face, your jaw, your forehead. Can you even relax your ears here? Let your head surrender to gravity. Feel it sinking into your props. One of the ways we can surrender a little bit more through our breathing is by lengthening the exhale. So we're going to practice that for a bit and then we'll add a little more to it. So just take a moment to get your breath even. So we'll count for the inhale and count for the exhale, keeping the count the same so that our inhale and exhale is even. And then we'll extend the exhale. So you can extend it for another count or 2 or 3, whatever feels good. We just want to lengthen the exhale so it's longer than the inhale. Now, as we're exhaling that longer exhale, just purposefully allowing surrender in your body. So every time you exhale, there's a little bit more of a letting go. Feel the body settling a little more. Feel the muscles giving way a little more. Surrendering to gravity, surrendering to this moment, surrendering to your body. Is it possible to let go just a little bit more, to let your body settle? No resistance, no trying, no doing, just let it go. Surrender to gravity. Unclench, soften. Maybe you found surrender in the body, but the mind is still clinging and talking and bothering. As you're breathing out, imagine whatever's coming up in your mind is just flowing out with your breathing, out into the universe, out of your head, out of your body. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Surrender means accepting this moment, this body, and this life with open arms. Surrender involves getting out of your own way and living in accord with a higher will, expressed as the wisdom of the heart. Far more than passive acceptance, surrender uses every challenge as a means of growth and expanded awareness. Surrender means accepting this moment, this body, and this life with open arms. We'll take 5 more breaths here. See if it's possible to let go just a little more. Whenever you're finished with those 5 breaths, we'll start to bring some small movements to the fingers and to the toes. Maybe you start to get into the feet a little bit and into the hands and the wrists, the ankles. Eventually, if it feels good, coming to a stretch. So there was a little clue in the reading that I just did. It says far more than passive acceptance. Surrender uses every challenge as a means for growth. So there might be a few challenges today. Surrender into. All right, we're going to do a little movement with the arms here. I'm going to take the arms out to a T. Inhale up, cross, hold on to opposite shoulders. Pause there. Let the shoulders release. Let the chest soften. Inhale, open out. Exhale, cross. Finish the exhale and let everything release. Open, we're going to cross the other way. So find that surrender at the end of the exhale. Just a couple more. And then we'll let the arms come down and head into Baddha Konasana here if you haven't already. So soles of the feet together, knees out. Hips are a wonderful place to explore surrender, whether it's surrendering to the situation as it is. So if the hips are really tight and it frustrates you, the more frustrated you get, the tighter you're going to be. So just be soft here. Let those hips release. Let the legs soften. If you need to or want to, you can put blocks underneath your thighs or knees. Lengthen your exhale and let the body settle. So just as we did when we were starting in our centering, letting the body release as you exhale. Just a few more breaths here. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll start to bring those knees up and in towards each other. Settle there for a few breaths. And then let's press ourselves up. We're going to come right into a supported twist. So we're going to come up. One hip comes up against the bolster. Let me turn the other way so I don't have my back to people at home. So you're going to sit up tall. Turn your body towards the bolster, and then we're going to lay down. You may want to put something under your hip. So if you feel like it's a little cranky under there, and you can have your head in the same direction as your knees, or you can have it facing the other direction. Surrender into the bolster. Feel that spine kind of unwinding. Relax your shoulders. Every time you breathe out, let your body sink in, settle down, soften. What's happening in your face and your jaw? Are they tense or tight? Soften them up. And just notice what happens when you're asked to surrender and when there's silence. Does it bother you? Are you in the past or the future? Are you anywhere but here? Sometimes surrender is difficult. 5 more long, slow breaths. When you're finished with those 5 breaths, whenever that is, you're going to start to bring a little bit of movement to the body, and then eventually we'll come up, switch the hip. So the other hip is at the bolster, and then come around for your twist. So you're sitting up tall, then turning and bringing the body down. Let the body settle. Surrender to this time and place. Surrender to your bolster, to the earth. Just being right here in this moment, in this body. Can you let go a little more? Allow your body to settle just a little more. We'll come back to those 5 long, slow breaths. Letting go a little more each time you exhale. When you're done with those 5 breaths, start that small movement, making your way back up. And this time we'll slide the props out of the way. When you get up, we're going to let those legs come out long. Just take a few moments to roll the shoulders, get some movement there. So we're going to get some movement in. We're going to head towards eagle today, so we need to start getting those arms warmed up. So we're going to take the arms out and then bring them in towards each other. Bend the elbows, cross one over. We're just going to start there. Open out, come back in, bend, cross. Keep moving. Next time you're crossed, you're going to stay. So you can bring the backs of the hands together or the palms together if that's in your practice. If not, you can stay apart. It's fine. So we're going to do a little lift and lower here. So we're going to inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Next time those elbows are lifted, I'm going to stay there. Let those shoulders relax a little. If this is too much on your shoulders, undo it. On an exhale, we'll open it back out. Inhale there. Exhale back and cross the other one over. We'll lift and lower again. And pause up. And let's release. Roll the shoulders. All right, we're going to settle into a forward bend. So get nice and long here as you inhale. Exhale, come on forward. Another space, inward, downward, a place to surrender. So you might be high. It's all good. I'd rather have you be nice and long here and higher than kind of contracted and round when you get down. Exhale, let it go a little more. Next, inhale, let's come on up. And table pose. I'm just going to lift up the feet and give them a little circle here. point and flex. Mine are not the only ankles cracking. All right, feet come back down. We'll start to move through some cat-cows, belly down, chin up. Back lifts, chin comes in. We'll do a few more rounds. And then the next time the back is lifted up, you're going to stay there. If you want to go a little more, tuck the toes, come up onto the fingertips. What can you surrender down towards the earth here? Maybe it's your chest, your heart center. Maybe it's your whole body sinking into the points that are coming into contact with the floor. Couple more breaths. And then we'll bring the hands down, feet down if they're up, and come down through our cow. Surrender the belly to the floor. Few more breaths. And then back to a neutral spine. I'm going to head into thread the needle here with an opportunity to surrender once we get there. So I'm going to take the right arm out. You can take it up if that's comfortable for you. And then we'll slide it through and come down. So you can come to shoulder. You could come to forearm. So you could be here or here. And if you get part way down, you could always do shoulder on a block or a blanket. Surrender to gravity here again. So let your body settle. Relax your belly. Couple more. When you're ready, we'll inhale, take that bottom arm out, either back to shoulder height or up towards the ceiling. We're going to pause for a few breaths. And that hand comes back down. We're going to head to the other side. Other arm comes out or up, and then slide it through. Notice if this side is easier or harder. How does it feel? Surrender that belly. Soften the chest.
Few more breaths. And again, when you're ready, we'll start to take that bottom arm out. Bring it straight out or up. And let's come on back down. Okay, we're heading towards puppy pose here, and with the option eventually if you want to come up into down dog. So we keep our hips and our knees lined up and start to walk the hands away. So you might stay up high. You might start to sink down through the chest. You could also bring your elbows down if you want. Oops, just realized this shirt is not going to stay down. Sometimes this is called melting heart pose. So imagine your heart melting down towards the floor. A gesture of humility, bowing down, honoring. Lengthen that exhale. Surrender a little more each time you breathe out. And you can stay right there if you like, or you can head up into downward facing dog if you would like to do that. Your choice. Stay right where you need to be. Oh man, I really need to just tie it. Still thinking about that heart melting down if you came up into down dog. So a few more breaths. When you're ready, we're going to move back through to table pose. And then down to the forearms. Stay here if that feels good, or hands can come together if that feels better. So I'm going to do a forward and back movement here. Coming forward and then sitting back. So your forward could be just a little ways, or you could come to the point where you're kind of hovering over your arms or the space between your arms. Just a couple more. And then pause back at our more neutral space. We're going to head up into a forearm plank. So we're going to take one foot back, toes tucked, and then the other foot comes back, toes tucked. If you get there and it's impossible to hold, bring your knees down. Keep breathing. Remember that line about surrendering, using every challenge as a means of growth. Can you find some stillness in your mind as you breathe here? Knees come down.
all the way down to the belly. Sphinx pose. Tighten up those glutes, press down through the tops of those feet. If you want a little more, press down into your hands and start to pull your solar plexus through. If you're fine, stay right where you are. Well, fine, it's relative, right? All right, we're going to let that go a little bit. We're heading back to a forearm plank from here. So tuck one toe, then the other, and lift up. Sometimes it's harder to go from that direction because it's like you're working against gravity, right? Keep breathing. All right, we're going to try and lift up here through the hips and start to walk those hands in a little bit, dolphin pose. This shirt is all kinds of wrong for this practice. It's got elastic on the arms, it's just digging into me. Mental note. If you're just like, oh, I'm so happy here, you could start to move like we did before. So you could start to come forward and then push up and back. I'm going to do 3 more breaths, whatever you're doing. When you're done, knees are coming down. We're going to come back to our table pose momentarily. We're going to give those forearms a break. Take the knees out, toes come towards each other. Then we're going to head down. Extended child's pose, wide knees child's pose. Rest those arms. Surrender the body. Few more breaths. All right, let's make our way back to table pose. I'm going to give you 2 options here. We're going to do some movement with the leg in kind of preparation for that eagle pose. So we're going to be taking the leg up and across and then out. So it's across, out. So you can do it from here, or you can do it from down dog if you want to do that. So you can go up and across and then out and across. You decide whichever one you want to do. Okay, we're going to start with the right leg up. Bring it across towards the opposite elbow. Bring it back up, then bring it out to the elbow on the same side. Just lulled you into a false sense of security at the beginning, didn't I? All that surrender. All right, pause. That foot comes down or knee comes down, other leg goes up. Same thing. Cross, extend, and then same elbow. One more. That foot or knee comes down.
We're going to take it forward, standing forward bend. Bend the knees a little bit. We're going to take the arms out to a T. Cross the arms, hold on to your shoulders, and then let yourself hang. Next, inhale, take the arms out again, and then cross the other one. Let it go and hang. Inhale, arms come out, back to a T. Then we're going to use the core to help lift us up. Arms come down. All right, let's inhale it up. Exhale forward. Come halfway. Come on back down. Take it back. We go to plank, table, or dog. Whichever one you want to do. Table or dog. Right leg comes up. Bend the knee. Take the hip out. Nice and long there. And that foot comes down, other leg goes up. Same thing, knee bent, take that hip out. And that foot comes down. Take it forward. Come on halfway. Come on back down. All the way up. Back to the heart. Okay, so we're gonna do a cross-legged downward facing dog. And then you'll have the option. So we'll be coming into cross-legged, right? And then you'll have the option of just staying there or moving back and forth between cross-legged plank and cross-legged dog. All right, ready? Inhale up. Exhale down. Halfway. Bring it on down. Step it back. Plank, table, or dog. All right, downward facing dog. Gonna cross the right leg in front of the left. So you can play around with the feet. Sometimes it feels good to have the feet pretty close. Sometimes you want to bring them a little farther away. Take those hips up and back. It's a lovely hamstring stretch. And you can stay right there if you like, or you can start to move forward and back between down dog, crossed down dog and crossed plank. And if you try it and your body's like, oh no, please stop, then please stop. So we're gonna hold either cross-legged plank or cross-legged dog. Surrender to the challenge of this posture. All right, come on up. We're gonna cross the other way. Down dog, settle in. And then if you moved back and forth between plank and dog on the other side. We're going to do that here. And we'll hold. If you held in the plank position, you have to make the same decision. Breathe. And let's take it back through to down dog. So undo those legs. And we'll take it forward, standing forward bend. Come on, halfway. Come on, back down. All the way up. Okay, so we're going to come to a cross-legged forward bend. So if your hands don't normally make it easily to the floor, you might want to have your blocks because it does change it a little bit when we cross. So we're going to cross the right leg in front. Again, you could have the feet pretty close together, or you could have them farther apart. Depends on what feels better for you. Okay. So we're going to cross, take the arms up, exhale forward, inhale halfway, exhale back down, come on up. We're going to do that 2 more times and then we'll stay in the forward bend. Okay, we're going to stay in the forward bend. So if your hands don't make it to the floor, get those blocks. There. I want you to be able to surrender to this loveliness. It's all about perspective. See if you can let go into that forward bend just a little more. Couple more breaths. Next, inhale halfway. Exhale back down. Take it all the way up. And back to the heart. All right, let's switch. Aye. Is that all you have to say? Aye. All right, we're gonna do 3 times up and down, and then we'll stay. And it might feel completely different with this leg crossed in front. Maybe there's even more joy. Settle in. Surrender to the moment. Surrender to the posture. Surrender to the sensation. Next, inhale halfway. Exhale down. All the way up. And to the heart. Right, let's uncross. All right, I'm gonna inhale up, exhale down. Come on, halfway. Step it back, plank, table, or dog. Take a few breaths here, surrender that heart. Then we're starting in dog or table, right leg's coming up. We're gonna bring that foot through, in between. And then sweep those arms up. Back heel can come down if you like, or it can stay up. It's gonna be a little more balancy if it's up. Arms come out. Cross. Open. Other arm on top. Next time the left arm is on top, pause and stay. Check in with that back leg, make sure it's still nice and strong. We're gonna move forward to a humble warrior variation. Call it humble eagle. I'm gonna lower down. Next, inhale, come on up. Exhale, arms come up. Inhale. Exhale down. Take that front foot back. Other leg's coming up. Bring it through. I'm gonna sweep it up. Arms come out. Start to move. So you might just be crossing. If you have shorter arms, you might not be able to get the hands together. It's all good. Next time the right arm is on top, we'll stay. Check in with that back leg again, and then moving forward. Two more breaths. And we'll lift on up. Arms come out. Arms come up. Come on down. Step it back. A few breaths there. All right, let's take it forward to our standing forward bend. Halfway, back down, all the way up. Right, so we're gonna head towards eagle. Eagle can be just legs crossed, just arms crossed. You can bend a little bit more, a little more deeply. You could be there. You could just bring the foot up off the floor, or you can try and wrap. Okay, so we'll get the legs first and then we'll add the arms. So we're gonna root into the right foot. Bend that knee a little bit. Cross the leg. So you can stay there if you like. If you're already like, oh crap, then just stay there. Try lifting the foot up. Maybe that's it. Try wrapping it around. Arms come up, elbows bend. Right arm comes over left. Enjoy the ride. Surrender to the moment. Whatever this moment is. Is it uncomfortable? Is it chaos? Is it ease? What is it? Doesn't matter what it is. It's, can you surrender to it? Just be here? Whoa.
right, let's release. Sometimes it takes a little while to surrender to it because our minds are like, ah! Once we can get past that, sometimes it's okay. Other times, not so much. All right, bend that leg, cross over. That could be it. You can try taking the foot up off the floor. You could try wrapping it around. So this time the left arm comes on top of the right. A few more. Stretch out those legs. Get those hips moving. Oh my gosh, it's 10 o'clock already. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, you ready? Come on up. Come on down. Halfway. Hands come down. Last plank, dog or table. Knees come down if they're not. And we're going to come around to sit. Oh. All right. Legs come out. I'm going to head into a forward bend here. Tuck. Nice and long. And come on down. Practice that art of surrender here. And let's lift it on up. Okay, you can do that again, or we're going to try crossing. Same thing, shoulders are released. Lift up, and then come forward. Next inhale takes you up. Uncross. Cross the other way. Come on down. Two more breaths. When you're done, come on up. Feet come together, knees out. For now, just let those legs relax. Shoulders released. Just imagine again that kind of surrendering downward. Only place where there's any real effort is through the top of the head. We're lifting up so we get some length in the spine. Right, we're going to head into a twist to the right. So walking your way around. Still letting those legs surrender. Next inhale, we'll come on back through to center. Other side. And coming back through to center. So we're going to head towards a forward bend. If you want to try turtle pose, you take the hands, bring them underneath. And then see if you can move forward. If that doesn't work for you, keep your hands out. Either one, up to you. And you could even just bring the hands like right in front instead of underneath. Just a couple more breaths. And then we'll make our way up. Knees come in. I'm gonna bring those legs out one more time. We're gonna head down to our backs. Try and use our core to do that. If you find like this is too much, just bend your knees and lower down. So we're gonna bring the arms out. And then we're gonna lower down nice and slow. Go slow as you can go. Use that core. So pull those core muscles in. Try not to clunk at the end. When you get there, long stretch. Reach all those limbs out. Long, nice and long. Reach, reach, reach. And then arms come down along the sides. Bring the feet to the floor, knees pointing up. Take those knees side to side. You keep doing that, or you can bring the knees into the chest for a rock. And if you like, taking that into happy baby. Wherever you landed, just take a few moments to let your back sink down. Soften your chest. If you're in happy baby, focus on letting those hips release, surrendering to the shape. Let's release, take it for a big stretch again. Oh. And then take some time to do whatever you might need to do. Is there another movement, another stretch, another posture? Or are you just done and ready to settle into Shavasana? If you liked the position that we were in at the beginning, you can always build that back up, or you could put the bolster underneath your knees for another way to help your back surrender. Eckhart Tolle says that when you surrender to what is, and so become fully present, the past ceases to have any power. The realm of being, which is so often obscured by the mind, then opens up. Suddenly a stillness arises within you, an unfathomable sense of peace. And within that peace, there is joy. And within that joy, there is love. When you surrender to what is and so become fully present, the past ceases to have any power. The realm of being, which is so often obscured by the mind, opens up. Suddenly, a great stillness arises within you, an unfathomable sense of peace. And within that peace, there is great joy. And within that joy, there is love. Surrender fully to this space of Shavasana. Let every muscle release. Imagine that surrender goes deeper than the muscles, into the tendons, the ligaments, even into your bones. Slow your breathing. Soften your heart. Returning for a bit here to the longer exhale. You are welcome to stay in this space if you like for Shavasana, or in Shavasana for the closing of practice. But if you'd like to come to sit, you're going to start to move and stretch and do what you need to so you can arrive back at that seated position. Ending this morning with a poem called Surrender. It's written by Claudia Cummins. This blessing wants you to remember the gift of surrender. It wants you to unclench your fists and soften your mind. It wants you to let go of your ceaseless, empty struggles in order to reclaim a cleaner breath and a deeper peace. This blessing wants you to let life be just as it is. It wants you to reshape your vision until you can see the gifts that arrive unbidden when we simply relax into what is without holding on to a single thing. Surrender calls us over and over to let go, to relinquish tight control over our lives, to settle in, perhaps sometimes even to sink. And it requires faith that despite the letting go, we are still held in steady arms of life. This blessing wants you to remember the deep relief that comes when we accept life on its own terms, full and free. It urges you to walk across the threshold of acceptance and all the way home to contentment and true love. Bringing hands to the heart, bowing forward, honoring this practice, honoring yourself and honoring each other. Shanti, 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 peace. May there be peace in your hearts. May there be peace in your lives. May there be peace in this world. Gently rising up. Namaste. Thank you for being here today. Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, Ellen.
My pleasure.